All right. Well, coming up, we have an author who has written a book called Pignon Scorbion and the Barbershop Detectives. And he is going to be with us in just a few minutes. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, Ventura County. You are listening live to Girls on the Air. We are Real Women in Real Estate, AM 1590, KVTA. I'm Tracy Baldwin.
And I'm Karen Campbell. And we're so excited to have this author and award-winning... Rick Bleiweiss. He is the author of Pignon Scorbion and the Barbershop Detectives.
But listen to this. He is an author, publishing executive, but he's a former music industry executive, and he is a Grammy-nominated record producer. But this is his first novel. So how exciting. We're giving away a signed copy today, so give us a call, 805-650-1590, 805-650-1590. He will sign a copy and send it to you. So this is so exciting.
So, Rick, are you there? We're excited to have you today.
I'm certainly here, and I'm excited to be here.
Oh, thank you so much.
So tell us about the book.
Well, it's a historical fiction mystery novel, and it takes place in the Downton Abbey era of 1910 England in a fictitious small English countryside town called Haxford. And they get a new police chief inspector, Pignon Scorbion. And based on a prior relationship that Scorbion has with the town barber, he starts solving his cases in the barbershop, aided by a group of colorful amateur sleuths, including the barbers, shoe shine man, a young reporter, and a brilliant female bookshop owner. And Scorbion's cut from the same mold as Hercule Poirot and Sherlock Holmes. He's deductive, he's observational, he's eccentric, he's brilliant, but he's also collaborative. And the book's a fun throwback to classic whodunits, and hopefully it will entertain people and maybe get their minds off some of the stresses of today's world.
How did you come up with this?
I was in a writing group here. I live in Ashland, Oregon. I moved here in 2003 from New York City, where I lived virtually my whole life when I was in the music industry. And I had been writing my whole life, but not books. I wrote some plays, newspaper articles, magazine articles, columns, things like that, but never seriously, just on the side. And when I got here, my next-door neighbor was in a writing group. I joined the writing group at her invitation, and I started writing short stories. And one day, a short story popped in my head that was the genesis of this book, and I just played out for me like a movie in my head. My job was to capture it on my computer and be able to tell readers what I was seeing in my head.
I love it.
That's awesome.
How long does it take to write something like this?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I started on this book with that first kind of short story back in 2015 and then worked on it on and off for the next 4 to 5 years. But I've just completed writing the second book, which will be coming out a year from now, and that took me under a year. So I guess once I get into the flow, things just start flowing.
Now, do you like writing books as opposed to the other things that you have written?
I actually like all of it. I find writing to be enjoyable, relaxing, and I enjoy writing books. You get to expand the characters more, so they become more of my friends, let alone, I hope, the reader's friends.
Yeah. Do you ever get writer's block? And what do you do?
I would say I do, but I'm fortunate that I don't get it very often or very severely. And what I do is I just walk away from whatever I'm writing, and I either start writing something else or just take a break and come back to it. And I've been fortunate that it came back to me.
You've had a pretty exciting life, huh?
I wouldn't trade it.
What are some great memories for you?
Oh, can I tell you an anecdote?
Absolutely.
One of my great ones?
Sure.
I mean, back in the late 60s, I was in rock and roll bands from early days, and one of my bandmates and I co-wrote a science fiction rock opera. And we got it managed by a man named Sid Bernstein, who was the man who brought the Beatles and the Stones to America. I mean, he was a big deal in the music industry. And then he got Leonard Bernstein's producer, John McClure, to produce some demo recordings. And we were flying. We just felt like this was a home run. and so did Sid. And Sid brought it to a man named Robert Stigwood, who is one of the great impresarios of the music industry. He did Jesus Christ Superstar and Hair and Saturday Night Fever, and he's the Bee Gees manager, Eric Clapton. I mean, big deal. He loved it. And he came back to Sid and said, I've got 2 rock operas I'm considering producing, and I'm going to make one of them into a play, and I just don't have the time to do the other. And one was ours. And he ended up choosing the other, and the other was Evita.
Oh, you're amazing. So what's next for you? You said another book, right? Second book?
Well, there is a second Scorbion book coming out. This is a series, and I've just completed writing the first draft, and it's going into initial editing right now. I've also got a short story in a mystery compilation that's coming out in May called Hotel California.
Ooh.
And there's a new Jack Reacher story in there, stories by Heather Graham, Amanda Flower, and many other best-selling and award-winning mystery writers, and it's the first in a series of music and murder books.
So what's a normal day like for you? You sound pretty busy.
Well, it is, but, because I'm also working, I'm an executive head of new business development at Blackstone Publishing. I'm doing everything from reading submitted manuscripts to buying other companies for Blackstone, to doing a myriad of things while also writing. And I also am still writing and recording music. And so I'm just having a whale of a time.
Good for you. I like your life. I'm jealous.
Absolutely. It's so fun.
So again, tell our listeners what they will get when they open this book.
They will get transported back to 1910 England, to a calmer time in history, and they will be reading a book that's written in the style, cadence, and language of that era, so it will feel very familiar, like an Agatha Christie type book. And I think they'll have challenging mysteries, humor, and characters that I hope they will bond with and go, ooh, I like these people. And I've even got Sherlock Holmes and Hercule Poirot referenced in the book, because I kind of created a universe where they and Scorbion all exist together.
That's awesome.
That's so fun.
Where can people find more about you and all the great things you do?
Well, my website, which is my name, rickbleiweiss.com, has a lot. Not easy to spell, but it's... and next week there will be, if they go to pignonscorbion.com, it will point them to my website. That's being set up for next week. Or easily just Google me or Google Pignon Scorbion, and you'll see a ton about me or him.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Our phones are just ringing off the hook right now. We're going to give away a signed copy. Give us a call, 805-650-1590, 805-650-1590. Thank you so much, Rick, and we will let you know who wins the drawing.
I appreciate it, and I'll be happy to sign a book for them, and thank you for having me on. I'd love to be on again sometime if it's possible.
Absolutely.
It was our pleasure.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.